Hello everyone, Louisa Jewell here with your weekly juice. Last week I was in my mastermind meeting and we were talking about moonshotting, those really big goals that you want to achieve before you die. And people had really incredible dreams. But one of the things that we talked about is what actually blocks you from going after those really big dreams in your life. And one of the things that we talked about is our perceptions around our own identity. Who do we think we are? And are we the people that we think can achieve those moonshot goals? So the discussion really centered around who do you need to be to achieve those really big goals? And it made me think, who do I need to be to achieve those goals? Now, one of the things that's really central to this idea of identity is personal narratives. Those are the stories that we tell each other every day about ourselves and about our lives. And personal narratives are so important because they help us to understand what's happened to us in the past. They definitely affect how we perceive our present moment, and they have great influence on our imagined future. Now, if we don't believe that we can achieve something in the future, we probably are not going to go after those dreams. We're probably not going to get into action about the things we really want in our lives. So I started to think about, well, if our personal narratives are so important to how we perceive our lives, and also they have such an influence on our behavior and how we act, how do I know what my personal stories are? How do I know what those narratives are? So I want to share with you, there was an interesting study done by Abigail Blyler and Dr. Martin Seligman at the University of Pennsylvania at the Positive Psychology Center. And what they did was they asked research participants to record 50 stream of consciousness thoughts over a 48-hour period. And then what they did was they took those thoughts and they fed it into ChatGPT-4. They used artificial intelligence, AI, to see if AI could actually help determine what these people's personal narratives were just from their stream of consciousness thoughts. And it was so interesting. They actually prompted ChatGPT with certain prompts to understand narratives. And it was so interesting that once they put in these stream of consciousness thoughts, it actually did generate these personal narratives for these people. And 96% of the people who participated in the study actually thought that these personal narratives were extremely accurate at determining what their personal narratives were. They were surprised that they could actually determine what their personal narratives were, but they were so accurate. And so I've put a link to the study below so you can take a look at what the prompts were, but I found this very fascinating and very interesting. And it was a reminder that what you say to yourself every day ultimately determines your destiny. So keep in mind, what are you saying to yourself every day? Because those words, those thoughts, ultimately determine your actions and ultimately determine what your destiny is. So in next week's Weekly Juice, I'm going to talk about how do we change our personal narratives? How can we change those stream of consciousness thoughts to create the life that we really want for ourselves? Okay, thanks everyone. See you next week.